Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive. My name is Nadine and thank you for joining today. We have a special guest today. Her name is Nancy Thames, and she's a former Department of Defense employee and lifelong contactee of the extraterrestrial beings. She has emerged to significant voice in the realm of alien disclosure and spiritual awakenings. Her journey, marked by personal struggles, transformed profoundly through her continuous extraterrestrial encounters. These experiences, initially suppressed, were eventually embraced as Nancy began to understand their purpose in her life and for humanity. She has come to the decisive enclosure. I hope I said that right. I'm going to make jokes here. It's the time for disclosure. Her dedication to this cosmic narrative propelled her to create timefordisclosure.com, a platform advocating for open dialogue about extraterrestrial interactions and the greater implications for humanity. Here, she shares her personal encounters, insights gleaned from beginning across dimensions, and her perspective on what these interactions mean for human involvement. Nancy's work underscores a collective call to awakening. She stresses that experiences often labeled as abductions are, in her understanding, enlightened context, part of her broader benevolent interaction, I hope I said that right, with the extraterrestrial entities, aiming for usher humanity into a new era of cosmic participation. This mission, conveyed through her writing and community engagement, is driven by a philosophy in unity, spiritual evolution, and the pursuit of truth, extending an invitation to all of humanity to acknowledge and embrace our place within the larger galactic framework. And before we get started talking to Nancy, of course, welcome. Everybody could tell I was reading that. There was a lot of big words. But Life on Record is our sponsor, and lifeonrecord.com is an interactive guest book. And it's really cool because you can use this for like any event. But when you're at an event, they have a QR code. You can call in now and you can take 5 minutes up to 30 minutes and you can say best wishes, and you get to keep this for like 1 year time. So your guests can call in anytime and they will burn those messages onto a record, or they have this little box that you can put it in. And it's amazing. It's just really cool. Plans only start at $99, which I think is a great deal. So go to Life on Record and see what they're all about. All right. So Nancy, thank you.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I want to hear about this lifelong, I don't want to call it a story, but hey, we're here to seek the truth on stuff. So I want to start, hearing your story. I may have some questions. I may want to just pop in and just talk and see if we can get some answers. And I love your backdrop. I got to say that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, for me, it's been a lifelong event. A lot of it took a lot of personal growth and a lot of maturity on my part to understand what was happening to me. Our society doesn't really like the idea of talking about these type topics. So my parents really didn't want me to talk about it outside of the household or at school or church or anywhere really. And then as I got older, they kind of didn't want to talk about it with me because I think they probably thought that it was just a bad dream or something of this nature, just part of a very big imagination or something like that. So, but as I got older, I realized I don't think this is my imagination. So when I got in my 20s and stuff, I realized this is real. This is real. I fought it for a long time. I thought that sometimes I could stay awake all night and maybe, it wouldn't happen, but it happens, So I just, it took a while. I was very, very scared, and anybody would be, you know. It just took a long time, and I started asking them questions, and they showed me myself being born, and that I had made a agreement to come here and help humanity at this time. This is a very, very important peak in humanity. This is the greatest thing that humanity has ever been, gone through, and it's happening now. We're having disclosure, and we're also ascending in our evolution level. More people are waking up, and that's the main thing. I made an agreement to be here for this particular time, to help people, to tell them the good things, to tell them there is no need for fear. They are here to help us. They look at us like children, and they have been here long before we were ever here. And they've watched us all this time. And we're just now finally to where we're intelligent enough, evolved enough, that we can have a better understanding of their presence in our life. Before, it got like misinterpreted, maybe as angels or different things. So now is the time. Humanity is ready. It's time to tell the truth. We've been lied to about a lot of things. We've been deprived our extraterrestrial heritage. I hope I get my words right.
It
Because
is a fun word to say.
all of us in one way or another
Yeah.
are a little bit ET. They had a lot to do with our genetic makeup and tweaking our DNA so that we are here now and we're having this conversation. And I can assure you that if they were bad ETs, we would not be having this conversation. They are millions of years ahead of us in technology, and we have nothing that could stop whatever they wanted to do. But that's not their plan. That's not their agenda. They are here because they love us. And it's not just us. It's not just us, Nadine. They love our planet. They love the plants, the trees, the waterfalls, the rocks, everything, the insects.
Okay, I got a question right there.
Yes.
Okay, I remember, I don't watch the news, but this day I was watching the news and they said, I remember it clear as day, and they go, we are going to tell the public aliens are real. Now on to Trump. What? Okay, we've been waiting decades to hear aliens were real. The news said it was real, but straight to Trump. Okay. Is Trump an alien? I mean, come on. So they just disregarded it. And when you say they've been here for like millions
they
of
have.
years,
Yes.
I want to know them. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I do if they're
Yes.
here.
They want face-to-face contact.
Yeah.
Which is what I have with them. I have face-to-face contact.
Okay.
And so basically they're waiting, they're just sitting there waiting for us. They're ready for the overall. I'm not talking about here, just me and you, or here in the United States. I'm talking about worldwide. And that's a lot of times, we get caught up in our daily lives and we forget, there's other people in this big wide world. There's dolphins, there's everything out there. There's forests, there's jungles. They love everything. We're just a small part of everything that they love. And they had a hand in creating everything. So they love it. And they want to see us. We've come to a state to where we're playing with technology that could be harmful to us. We could become extinct if we don't play with our technology correctly, and if we have respect for our world and things of that nature. So that's another reason why they're here. They want to assist us, because we are children. We have a lot of capabilities and things that have been suppressed that we don't even realize that we're capable of doing. We have the capability of being interdimensional ourselves and becoming part of the galactic universe and being a species that's well respected if we take advantage of this opportunity and we realize that they can help us. If we accept their help, realize they're here, they are here, they're here to help, and they will. Now, when I say they will help, they're not going to come down and just fix something immediately. We have to do our part. That's part of our spiritual growth, is learning to take care of our mistakes and things of that nature. They can advise us. Big things they can help with, but it's up to us to use our mind and to use it wisely. And then they will step in and help us and guide us.
Yeah.
Because see, that millions of years ago, they were at this evolution scale. They've been all
Okay.
through this, and they've seen other beings on other planets. We're not the only living beings in the universe. So
Yeah, I always wondered that. And
yeah,
are we going to get to Mars and really see something with
I think
Mars?
we probably will. And a lot of the technology that you see our military using is from extraterrestrials. There's been a lot of exchanges throughout. Now, I was not there, so I can't say this is the gospel, this is the truth, but I can tell you what I know from my perspective, my experiences, and things of that nature, and um, what I've learned and matured and understand better now than I did before. Like when I was little, I didn't really understand for how they were making me go through the walls and through the ceiling. All I knew is that when they came and I would feel their presence, I know when they're near, and I would start to vibrate. Okay. My whole body would vibrate. And then all of a sudden I would start floating up, and I'd look down and see the bed, and I'd be holding the hand of extraterrestrial, and they were taking me to a craft.
Okay.
Now I understand they were vibrating me at a different frequency. Okay. Humans are at a certain frequency. I could look on a book and tell you the numbers right off the top of my head. I can't throw all that in my head and out right here. But what we vibrate in our 3 dimension, we wouldn't be able to go through a ceiling or a wall. So they changed my frequency. And then when they changed my frequency, I can go through walls and craft and go up to where they are. So they don't spend a lot of time in our dimension. They are from probably the 4th or 5th or even higher. So but they'll come down and get me, and other people. I'm not the only human being that's having these experiences.
Yeah. I'm proud that you are coming out and talking about it now too, because this is what people need to hear. And
Yes,
it's
because
up to my listeners. I'm sorry if you want to believe that's great, but everybody has their own opinion.
that's right.
So, when they've been here, and they're checking us out, do they have a certain look? We're not going to know what they look like, right?
I know they can be invisible. I've seen
Nice.
them do that. They can also change their image into an image that you're more comfortable with. For me, when I've been in like serious situations and I was like really upset and just going nuts in my head, they would appear to me in an image that I felt comfortable with. And the image, I don't want to say the person's name because
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But anyway, it was a person that I knew it was not them in real life, but it did make me feel more comfortable. So they do these things because they understand our fears. They understand that we're very emotional, and that's very different. We're probably the only species that they know of that is so emotional, and
We cry too much.
well, yeah, I mean, and they don't do those type things. They
Yeah.
do love, they do have families, they do reproduce. There is male and there is female. And, a lot of people say things about the grays, but most people don't realize there's like 62 different species of grays. And I've never met a bad one, never. And they love me. I have this one female gray, and she always is the one that comes to get me and takes me to craft. Once I get on craft, I'm around other beings, and I don't even know what their names would be. I'm more still in the baby side of it, where I'm so fascinated
Yeah.
with my surroundings that I'm like touching and picking things up and exploring, and I'm trying now to pay better attention to who the other people are watching me, because that's part of it. They're watching me to see my progression. Am I, you know, becoming more evolved? Am I like understanding my situation? Which they know that, but I still have a lot to learn. I need to start looking around, and really like pay attention, like symbols and different things. And I've even looked at things and picked it up, and it's like I thought about like maybe trying to take it or something. But you
Yeah.
know what? I didn't, and I'll tell you why. Because they're in my heart and soul. They're in my consciousness. I
Yeah.
don't need that proof. I don't need it. And I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not here to prove anything other than I'm telling you the truth. And everybody is on a different evolutionary scale, a different mentality of understanding. And you can't push people that have to be ready. They have to
They
want it.
have to be ready. They have to hear
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Like I said, opinions are opinions. So accept it, open minded,
Yeah.
because we do have so many changes in the world right now.
Mhm.
And, you've got to take it, embrace it, and learn from it. And I would think, you know, they wouldn't want to scare us when we're already scared and what's
They
happening
don't.
in the world right now and the fighting. And I wonder, is it like all energy? It is all energy based. I would say that. But, they can pick up on the world's vibes and how we
Yes.
act together.
Oh,
So,
they know that we're having wars. They know all this. They know everything. I
oh, and
promise you. They know
they
everything.
probably don't even like it. They don't want to see
Oh
us. Why
no,
can't
they're
people?
not a warlike beings. They do not approve of that. I promise you, they're watching over that. Um, they don't like it, and we have a lot of growing up to do. We've got
Yeah.
to learn to love one another, respect one another, have empathy for others, and they can help us with so many things. Cure diseases, um, stop poverty. I mean, simple things that really could have already been done if in the past when they approached government officials and wanted to help us, and they denied it. So, you know, again, I don't want to go into all that kind of stuff because I wasn't there at that,
Yeah.
and it's something that I was told, so I don't want to go much into that. But I do know that there's a lot of grand things that we have everything to look forward to, but most of it is about us knowing who we are, knowing the great human beings that we are, and that we are very special,
Oh,
very
yeah.
unique. And they're very fascinated with us. Why else would they be watching us all this time? Because they had a little part in it. They've been watching us. We're very unique and very wonderful. And this planet is just beautiful and wonderful. And, they just want us to be more appreciative of our planet,
I would think so too. Take time for nature. And I mean, I feel like if they're looking at everything and what we're doing financially, how we're doing, the economy has changed so much. Like,
Yes.
I'm a single mom. Here's a good example. I'm a single mom, two kids, one of them's grown up and out of the house, but it's hard for me because yeah, I had to move back with my mom, and to live in this world, just an apartment is the same as a rental property,
Yes.
but we can't always do it on one income. Now, if I wanted to work two or three more jobs, is it possible for me? No. And I'm going to be talking about health in later episodes and stuff, but it's not possible for me because I would just peel over. But I think they do watch this stuff, see where people are hurting. I know they have probably empathy for what struggles
Oh,
we do go through. And, you know, I wonder like how they pull you up. I mean, how often
Mm.
Did they pull you up? Or we're having a podcast. It's like, hey, who's that girl? If they want to do a
Um,
podcast with me too, I'd be happy. I'd be open to it because this is what
yeah.
people need to be
Well,
heard.
I can tell when they're coming. I can feel it. I'm very in tune with them. My son has experiences too, and if we happen to be somewhere in the same household, I feel their presence. And if they're not coming for me, then they'll just basically say, "Tell me that this is not about you," and then I know I just lay back down, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they come for me and they're not for him, same thing. We have a different, I don't like the word handler. Someone mentioned that word to me last night. I don't know another word I want to use. Caregiver, like my
Yeah.
ET mother, I guess, my ET mother, and she's been with me since I was little, and she has stayed with me this whole time. And so it's amazing. They come and get me quite often. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll consciously be standing next side to her, and I'll just take my fingers and run them through hers and feel. And the last place that I actually did that was in September, and I was in Mexico with my son on a trip, and she was cold, and I said, "Oh, you're cold." And she didn't say anything or at all, but it was just so beautiful. I don't know how to explain it to you. Their
No,
love,
I get it. I understand it.
I mean,
So,
it's they are so loving, and everything that the media and all this stuff have said about them is so untrue. And I'm
yeah.
a living example that of them showing patience and love, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and they've stood by me and waited for me patiently to get my act together. And they just truly love everybody,
Good.
and I'm nothing special, and they want to have this same relationship with all
Oh,
humans.
yeah.
It's just we got to get everybody on that awake level and an understanding that the world, we only live once, and we need to live peaceful. The human experience is like a school. We're all here to learn, and we need to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And ETs don't have money, they don't have time. Those are all man-made things. And they've probably been bad for us because we, just like you live, eat, and sleep your job, and you worry about
Yeah.
constantly putting money and working all the time. So you miss out on a great part of your life. All these things need to change.
Yes,
All
they
these
do.
things need to change. We need to enjoy our life, enjoy our children, enjoy everything about life. This is an experience.
Yes.
Being a human is a short, very short experience compared to what other beings in the universe get to experience. So we need to learn from them and learn how to slow down just a little bit, enjoy ourselves and our families, and work together, and don't judge people by the cover
Thank
and
you.
start
Yes. Yes.
just being nice and being positive. And every time, if you think something negative, think of two positive things.
Yes. Yes.
And that will make you, if you can get people doing that, and you start doing that, everybody around you will start picking up on it, and they'll want to be near you, and they will want to do the same thing.
It's
And the
about
more
positive.
love that we vibrate, the more love that we vibrate and positive, that increases the whole network of humanity. And once we get that all going, here they come face to face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
It's
but
going to be beautiful.
this world,
Don't give up on it. They haven't given up on us. I haven't
I
given up on us.
know there's going to be a lot of people though. It's great. Like,
I understand. I see it a
yeah,
lot.
the positive energy.
I have to
I know
be
for me, I
positive.
stopped watching the news.
Oh, I
My
don't
life's
either.
100 times better, and I feel that, it's great for my soul. I'll go sing karaoke, and when I can sing, I'm letting out that energy. And I guess there's vibration too, but it's
Yes,
like
it is.
you're giving that your all and it's what you love doing. So, but if everybody could just take one day or 2 days and find out who you are as a person.
That's a very important part of this. Looking within, find your
Yeah.
inner self,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things you already know up in your head,
Yeah.
and you've got to learn to not let outside things change your
Yeah.
mind on things. Follow your heart, understand your gut feelings on things, because we all know a lot and we all have abilities. We just have to find it within. And I
Yeah. If
think people
everybody's focused on everything else, they're going to miss out on this part.
exactly.
Now, I know I'm awake. Some people don't even know that term, but it's not for me to say. So I've come one-on-one with who I am as a person, which I'm happy. And now I'm learning patience,
Yeah.
boundaries,
And
truth.
forgiveness is important.
Forgiveness is very important.
Yes.
You know, I try so hard not to get sad over things. And there are times that it's like somebody
That's
says
okay.
something hurtful and it's like
That's okay. I mean,
you block the
it's
energy and
okay.
you move forward. Yeah. So
You're supposed to feel all these different emotions. That's
mhm.
okay. What's important is to remember your
Yeah.
behavior from these feelings. Control your behavior. You can cry, you can be unhappy, you can be sad, you can be happy.
Yeah.
So all that's wonderful, and that's what we're supposed to do. But people need to learn to watch their behaviors,
I know. I know.
if that makes any sense.
It does. And that's a good message because if they're watching us from down here and how we act, I wish we could go back to the times. Yeah, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, where you couldn't own a gun. I mean, okay, we're not in the Wild West anymore, and people are just taking these and going, Alan, look at Alan,
But
the mall.
think about this. It's not the gun, it's the human being
I know
that picks up
behind
the gun.
it and what their thought process, and it goes back to mental health. Um, it's I can't stress enough. I almost feel bad for the Among Us, the ETs, because they're probably like, they're still a mess. Let's see what the next generation can do. But,
They have not give up on us. We wouldn't be having this conversation if they had given up on us.
I know, definitely.
And
So,
this is something that's very important to me. I don't care about making money off this kind of thing, or that's not my goal. My goal is to help people understand. And I had to experience these fears. I had to experience all these things so that I know how to tell you it's okay to be scared. They know you're going to be a little scared, but let me show you how you can be patient and evolve into doing these things.
yeah,
So you know, you can't do anything wrong, because that's just part of being human, is we make mistakes. But the beauty is we can always try again.
yeah,
We can do it. We
we
can
can
do
try
things.
it again. And every day is a new day. We
That's
move
right.
forward. Don't try to look in the past.
That's right.
It's about remembering. I was at church, remembrance too. We'll go back on those past times, and it's a good memory. What was that movie? Inside Out. And I loved it. And it was the little balls that came through in your brain and what you remember from the past and moving forward, you're creating the new memories and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but as we go into the future, I I wish we knew. I wish they would come out and introduce but how would the world take that? Or are they going to go ballistic if they did? Or are people going to
I
have more
think it's quite
minds?
beautiful that what they have, the government, from what they have said, I think humanity has reacted really great.
Good. Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
it's working out okay.
Yeah.
But
So if people, I'm sorry, if you can go to a haunted house and look for ghosts and all this stuff, and you know, it's, I hate to say it, people, they do. It's a belief or they actually seen it. I'm not going to ever judge, people do see the extraordinary, the
oh
ETs.
yeah,
They have seen ghosts. They have seen the bad stuff. They have witnessed experiences. So, we can't be all crazy at all for saying this when it's the truth.
exactly. And the fact that we're all ascending and waking up, we are going to see more things. We're going to
Yeah.
be much more aware of our surroundings, of things that we didn't see before, but they're going to, we're going to see things. We're going to experience things.
Yes. And just, don't be scared. Always have it in your heart. You're strong. So if you do ever experience something, there's a reason behind it. So that's the best I can coach somebody on that. I would say you're the chosen one, or they have a message they want to, put out there. So open-minded, kindness, no fear, don't be scared. I mean, it's
It's
just,
okay.
it is
It comes with patience and time, and they
patience.
have plenty of time.
Yes, yes, and I still feel like, yeah, they're going to take more time. And I mean, I don't think right now this world is gonna, I don't know. It's just my
Well,
opinion. I don't
you know,
think they're open
it's
or awake enough.
one step at a time, one bridge to cross. But here's the thing, the beauty of this, even if only one person listens and it makes them be a little more open-minded about this, and maybe they'll do a little research
Yeah.
and look into it and realize, wow, we've got some grand opportunities out there for us if we take advantage of it.
Yes. We need to bring back Mork and Mindy. Growing
That
up
was
and
cute.
seeing Mork, Nanu,
Yeah,
or bring
that was
back
cute.
Alf. I mean, I don't think they look like Alf, but that'd be kind of cool.
He was cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, government, they know of this. They know
Oh,
it's in all the
absolutely.
movies. Oh, but, as living here, you kind of go, is it real though? What is it? Area 50?
51.
I was going to say 52. So
That's about Roswell. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, if it's out there and, people are saying, hey, I think I saw a UFO, I was like, it's probably a drone.
Well,
But
if you get a night vision with infrared light, you can see things up in the sky.
oh, that's cool.
And
That's really
there's something else I wanted to tell you too, because I
yeah.
don't know how our time goes, but a lot of people say it seems like the government's kind of like hee-hawing around, not kind of like working at a slow pace. They put some information out there and now it's like dragging out. But I personally, and this is just me,
Mhm.
what I think, I think they're waiting on the James Webb telescope to find something, which it is finding things that we've never seen or learned of, things that are
Mhm.
new. And I think that maybe they're going to let the James Webb telescope say, oh, we just found life. And that would just make the door easier for them.
I mean, if
So,
going up into space already for like trips,
yes,
I
yes.
mean,
There's a
somebody else.
lot of reasons why they don't want to just come right out and tell us everything. A lot of bad things have happened in the past to keep this quiet. So, if the James Webb telescope would find something, that would just be the best scapegoat for them. You know.
That'd be cool. But
Mhm.
yeah, just, tell us on the news, but don't change it to Trump, please. Just
Yeah.
talk about it for a couple of minutes, maybe even do a conference with people and tell them,
My honest opinion, if they pick somebody to a rep, that they wanted to like talk with or whatever, I don't think it would be anybody in office.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
no.
It's
Honestly, I don't.
yeah,
So
so it's, and I wanted to talk to you because this has been many, 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 many years for you. So,
yeah,
and learning as a child and going through it, and then your teenage years, and then your young adult, and It's
Absolutely.
good to be able to share the story and have no fear. And that's the best thing. I am glad we're putting this on a podcast and talking about it, because we need to be, what's the word, more assertive and looking for things, and appreciate if we get new messages out there. And I think there is hope for us.
I do too. And
Yeah.
everybody should do their own research. You don't have to believe everything you hear. You don't have to believe me, but at least just do your research. Look into things a little bit. There's a lot of information out there, you
Yes,
know.
there is.
And I do think experiencers like myself, and I'm not the only one. There's probably a million people like me,
Yeah.
but we kind of know more what their agenda is, and our personal relationship with them we can explain,
Yeah.
and it's loving, it's wondrous, it's
Aw,
beautiful. And it's like you almost look forward to having your time with them.
that is so cool.
Yeah,
It really is just
yeah,
diving into that, and I hope one day, yeah,
yeah.
I'll
But
get to meet
but I
them.
will say this, you still have to have your human life, you still
Yes,
have to get the
yes,
full experience here, so
yes.
both
And
is both are very important, yeah.
now there's some spots, like Grand Canyon I want to go to. I feel like
Oh,
as a photographer, it's a calling for me. The sun is setting over the rocks, but there's one picture that I just definitely want to get. So for Colorado, I've always wanted to go to Aspen, and
oh,
it's
nice.
about seeing out there, nature, accepting. I remember I took my shoes off and my socks and I walked in the grass, my favorite part, and I just enjoyed the moments. And,
Well, the best thing you can do, it's called grounding, and that is a
grounding,
walk
yes,
around
what
on
it
the
is.
earth with your bare feet. So much energy, and your body just absorbs it, and of course the sunshine too. Your body just absorbs all that energy.
Yeah. And I love it. I love it. It was a different part in my time when I was learning, but it was amazing to feel that, because it's a connection. And,
Yes,
you know,
everything's connected.
yes,
Everything's
yes. Now I'll tell you one story about me, and it was
okay.
really, really cool, because I grew up with epilepsy. I'll share that with the world. But I've had I in and out of body experiences where I watch myself like, don't die on us. And I'm like, I'm right here. Like, but I'm watching. She's like, Nay, come back, come back. And I'm like, geez, okay. And I remember I was able to jump back into my body, but then I jumped back out. So it's it's weird, because you see this whole other side, and it doesn't
Yes.
get talked much about, but
Your death experience.
yes, yes.
There's a
So,
lot of information on NDEs. You should look it up. It's really wonderful. People have beautiful stories, and be proud of your experiences and
yeah,
express them. That's
yeah.
the main thing, be proud. And that's what's so good about these things. We're now at a time where we can talk about all these things. So you can talk about your out of body experience and things.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as
Mhm.
taboo. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it just, opens up this whole other, yeah, as you said, realm,
Yeah.
and being able to go and say, I'm not ready for you. And I get, well, at a young age back in my body, it's like, that is different. That is cool, but I'm back.
Yeah.
So, talking about that kind of stuff also. So, yeah. And other than that, I'm trying to think if I have any more questions, because I know the listeners may. And, if you go on to our Facebook page, you can ask questions for you. And then I have a phone number from lifeonrecord.com, 833-780-HOPE. If you want to leave any comments or questions, we'll get those answered for you as well. But I just, I feel like I have so much more. And I was,
You feel
well,
like
let
you
me
have more
ask this.
energy?
The little kid in me always thought aliens were like green. And they come
No,
down. Is that no?
they're not green.
It was, yeah, I was like talking to somebody yesterday, watching a band, and I was like, never know what they look like. It could be you. But
And some look like us, not exactly, but some look
yeah,
like us. And then there's some that do not. And that's the part that humanity is going to have to get used to. They don't all
yes,
look like
I
us.
think it's just seeing a different form. It might be scary.
Yeah.
And, I think with all the movies out, like The Exorcist or Ring, I don't watch
Well, I
scary.
don't even want to see that. But
I
think
don't,
about the good movies like Close Encounters or Contact,
oh,
those type.
Contact was so good.
So,
Yeah.
and the guys that did those, they probably got their ideas from ET.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably did. Yeah. So
And they approach a lot of people in your dream state. That's a great way that they communicate with people now.
that
And
is
a lot
so
of people
cool.
dismiss it thinking, oh, that's a weird dream, but maybe not.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've had a weird dream. I get what I call as real dreams. And I had two friends pass recently, but this last week, they were together and they were telling me everything's going to be okay. But it was so weird. They were so close to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, can I touch you? Like I wanted to be there with them too. But those are real dreams to me. And then other times, like, I never know. It could have been ET, but
Mhm.
I was hearing, I'm your guardian angel, but I was fighting back. No, you're not. Stay away from me. And, it was like I didn't know who it was in that dream, but, you still put a guard up. I mean, we're active, right? In our dreams that
Yes.
we have, we
Yes.
speak up for ourselves
Mhm.
and we can never die in dreams, which is cool. But yeah, so I just okay, so we went over they're not green all the time, or they are different shaped. Hopefully they love music.
They do love music. Yes.
Good, because that's very peaceful to the soul. I wonder if they would be ever open, to communicate with us a different way.
Well, I think they have. The crop circles were a means of communication.
Right,
Again,
the movie The Signs.
well, actually, there's a lot of crop circles, especially around Stonehenge, and there's a lot in England and places.
Really?
And yeah, crop circles. Mhm.
Wow. Okay. That is different. And I
Yeah.
remember, where was I? In Philadelphia, headed back to the airport. And, everybody, I love my family, but they all had a ghost story, which was pretty cool. But when I was trying to get some milk late at night and the floor is cracking, I was like, oh my gosh, I have open windows. It's so nice out there. It's woodsy, but I was like scared. And then I remember I was driving with the taxi driver and I was like, yeah, my whole family like have stories on ghosts and stuff and the aliens or whatever. And he goes, oh, that's where they filmed Signs. And I'm like, he goes, me too, lots of stories. I was like, okay. But you take it in and everybody has experience. And
Really
the
do.
crop circles, yes, that is one. There are times that I think I may see something and I'll look up in the air. Is that right? Is that a plane or is that something else? It's like, no, it can't be. But it's just different. um I think we talked about, do they live down here, actually stay planted down here and hide in disguise to watch over and
They
report.
can, their craft can be invisible and they can come out of being, they can be visible a lot. And I think as we progress in our evolution and as we become a more positive and we start vibrating on a higher frequency, they will be showing themselves more. Um, there are places underwater. I know you've probably heard about, they're called USOs, and that's craft that goes from air to into the water. So there's some bases underwater, and there's some bases that installations that they stay in out in the west and
Yep,
places like that. Yeah.
that's
And
interesting.
yeah.
It makes me think,
So
is Atlantis real? Are
Atlantis is
mermaids real all of a
tiny.
sudden?
I
Yeah.
don't know about mermaids, but I do know that there are aquatic beings. I do know that. I have met aquatic being before.
Interesting, like Aquaman?
No, not like Aquaman.
Oh,
This
I was like, anybody like
it
Aquaman
was
is
just,
fine.
he doesn't look like anything. The one that I met doesn't look like anything in any, it just doesn't look like any of our Marvel movies or anything like that. It
Okay.
was just a being. And um I could tell you this whole story. I don't know. Are you okay on time?
Oh, yeah, yeah, girl. I got you. We want to hear
Okay.
this. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, all right. So they come to visit, take me to
Mhm.
craft. We get in, and there's other humans in there. And so I'm looking around and stuff, and I'm like, what are we doing? And I really didn't even know what cryptids were until a couple of years ago. I just, but anyway, we were on this craft, and we were looking for cryptids. Then there are like these different species that had jumped a dimension, and they were not supposed to be in our timeline or our air, in our dimension. And they can create havoc and cause fear and stuff. So I was just part of a group that were going, and they were looking for them to bring them back and take them where they're supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
And so I was in the back of the craft with this other girl, and I was asking if she had done this before, and she said yes. And I was like, well, I would like to do this more because I found it very interesting. And so then I saw this being up at the front, and he was not really paying any attention to us or even making an effort to communicate. So I just went up there and just said hello, and I sat down, and he really didn't. I assumed it was a he, just
Yeah.
the what I sensed. And he really didn't say a whole lot. He just kind of like nodded, like hi. But then he went back to doing what he was doing. So he obviously didn't want to communicate. So I just kind of watched him a little bit, and then I went back to my place. But basically, we were just going around looking for these entities that were in the wrong place, and then they were collecting them and taking them back to where they were supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That is so different. But, you
Mm,
know, that's funny to hear you like, have you been here before? Sure, I got this. It's like awesome.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that is amazing. And I'm happy
Oh,
for you
I
guys who have
yes.
got chosen not to endorse the fear into it, be like, please don't take me away, blah, blah, blah. But it was a learning experience. And
I saw my children taken for the first time. I was
wow,
at a hotel at Key West at a Marriott, as a matter of fact, and they came in the room.
are they
Our,
physically gone? Like the body just, they're not there anymore?
well, no, it's not like that. Okay, I'll explain it. Okay,
Okay.
first of all, I sense their presence. I raise up and look. They are not there for me, but they usually travel in threes. Okay, so there were three.
Okay.
And one was on my side, and the other two were going to the other side. My ex-husband and I were in bed, and three children were in the other, my two sons and one stepson. So they said, this is not about you, and laid me down. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, this is my kids. And so they went over and got my two sons, and what they do is they vibrate, they change their frequency, and then they would take them to the craft. Yeah. But I
Wow.
went to sleep. They can have you black out. And so I blacked out. And then when I woke up, they were back in bed. And the next morning when we went to breakfast, I said, well, did anybody have any interesting dreams or anything you want to talk about? And nope, nope.
Uh,
They had no recollection of it. So I just left it alone because
yeah.
for one, there's no harm.
Yeah.
There's there can be misunderstandings of what their agenda is, and that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
like I said, it took me time to understand what was
Yeah.
going on. And yes, I was a little upset that I didn't get to go with my children, because I thought, well, I should be able to go, but
Yeah. They need to learn on
their
their own.
agenda is different. They don't understand the mother, you know, they
Yeah.
do what they're supposed to do. And that was the task at hand. And I wasn't part of that. So I didn't get to go. So it's, you know, their mind, our mind is very, very different, very, very different. You know, it's so hard to explain to people. And like I said, it took me a long time to trust and believe and feel just, you know, to understand it all, just to, you know,
Definitely.
to feel at ease. And now it does not bother me at all. It,
Are
you
you
know,
just like, I'm ready, I'm ready. When are
oh,
you gonna come
absolutely.
get me?
Absolutely. And I'll, what I'll do is I'll talk to them in my head, but with firm intention. I
Yeah,
don't think about anything else, and it's with intention.
yeah,
And like if I was going to tell you the best way, and this is just not a proven fact or anything, this is just what I think, you know,
yeah.
what I'm going to tell you, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work or not work. But meditation, and in your meditation, if you want that, then express, you know, what you want, and that you want a loving, you want to find that loving and peaceful contact, you know, in these
Yeah.
things, and you know, your body will vibrate and they will pick up on these frequencies. Yeah,
You see,
that's what they're waiting on. They're
that's what I
waiting
was
for the
starting
world.
to tell you with the seizures and being out of body. I forgot to finish it. The
Go ahead.
meditation part, the meditation, I meditated for the first time, but it was an amazing thing that happened. I was lifted up almost probably in space, but like the colors of your backdrop, but it was like purple and pink and
Mhm.
the blues and stars. And I was looking down and it was the United States, but it was all at night, like you see light, like ding, 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 ding. And I was like, I'm going to pray over them. But I prayed for teachers. And I was like, why is it only for teachers? But I guess that's what my meditation wanted me to do.
Well, that's just what was in your mind at that time, you know.
Yeah. I mean, well, I love teachers, but yeah, I was like, why teachers? But I did. I felt like I had prayed over everybody and it was my job or something that had to be done. But the feeling was amazing. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh. But it felt like I was sent up, looked down, but it was just eyes closing and being with a group of people. But it was the greatest. Like I loved that
Mhm.
feeling. I love seeing what I saw.
You
I
know,
love that I got to pray.
there's one other thing I want to say is that, you know, we have a war going on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Um, my advice is that don't pick a side. If you pick a side, you're giving in to negativity.
Yes. Yes.
Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Have that positive energy and pray for peace, you
I
know.
wish they could just wake up on the other side and be like, this is not right at all. Like, we need to rethink this. Like, why are we doing this? And come to terms and say, this is not. You see, what I don't understand is you probably have a leader and you're going to do this and this and this, and it's like a dictatorship almost. And they go in for the negative energy. You need to do this. Are they threatening them? Like, if
It,
you don't do it, we're going to kill you. What is it?
well, there is a lot of fractions, people, entities, and things that do not want us to ascend. They do not want us. They want to keep us dumbed down and control, because as long as they can control us, they can manipulate us. And we live in this society that we're living in now. If
Yeah.
we ascend and become awake and have a better understanding of who we are and what we are capable of, we will not we will outgrow all those negative things, and will become very strong human beings. And the people at that lower rim, that lower frequency, that
Hmm.
do not want us to succeed,
Yeah.
cannot go past that level. So that's why they want to keep us down.
Wow.
But
Okay. That
see,
makes sense.
we can become interdimensional. But what I'm talking about is like lower rim evil extraterrestrials they cannot leave our solar system. They cannot. And like there's certain fractions, and I won't go into all of them, but
Yeah.
they do not want us to change. But the good ETs, the interdimensionals, they want us to evolve, change, and we will become interdimensional.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
that's why we're having these wars. That's why we're having all these bad things. It's because as long as they keep us blinded and keep these evil things going, we never get out of that. But that's why I'm talking. That's why other people will be telling you these things, why we need to be positive, why we need to be thankful that ET loves us, and why we need to be trying to vibrate and change who we are and become better human beings.
yeah, agreed, agreed.
Yeah.
So there's many good changes when there's positivity in the world. And, if you guys, hey, I'm just gonna say, just watch the end of the Elf movie when they all sing together as, to bring the Christmas spirit together. It was united. They had to work and think the same. So if the world could think the same, then we got something,
Yeah. Got to
and
start
maybe
somewhere.
all of the stop fighting. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I can't even go in and I love my mom, but did you hear about the shooting in May? I was like, no. Okay. I take in what she tells me about it. She goes, are you going to watch it on TV? No. I heard. I'm praying already for everybody who's involved with that. But I can't sit there because it'll make me sad, like really sad, and I
Well, that's
can't
what
do
it's
anything about
that's
it.
the intention of it. That's the
Yeah.
intention. So,
Yeah. So it gets,
once people start realizing that, they'll start to change. Yeah.
yeah, and that's what I look forward to. So, oh my gosh, you have been great. I'm glad you came on the
Thank you
show.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Glasses
I
on. I
enjoyed
gotta
it.
get some new glasses,
We can do
girl.
it again sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So I do want to thank our sponsors today for lifeonrecord.com. So that was definitely the book, or yeah, it's a guest book with the phone where you call in your message, they burn it on a record and everything for you to keep. We also have Bridal Shows Inc. And I know Miss Naomi had a bridal show this Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And I'm sure it went perfect, but if you're planning that special wedding or even an event, you go there, you get to meet all the vendors, which is awesome. Bryce Harney Magic.com. I think it's BryceMagic.com, but he's amazing. And he's traveling many different states with his show right now, which is cool. So Miles and Smiles, yay. She's an investigator and she is a very personable, and she does handwriting and lipstick readings. It's really cool. She's very accurate too. And then Party Time Texas, your one-stop shop to get all your party needs from DJs, bands, caterers, venues, photographers, videographers, the list goes on. So, but definitely I can't express. This was very educational. Loved it.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you for coming on.
Thank
So,
you.
but until next time, remember wherever you find your podcast is where you're going to find Keep Hope Alive podcast and Party Time Texas podcast. We're linked together. So, and then also our website, www.keephopealivepodcast.com. And then our social media platforms, you can find it as well. So, like if you guys have questions or want to voice any opinions, definitely you can let us know on our social media and stuff like that. But we will see you guys next time, and thank you for coming on, and I'll be talking to you really soon. I want to hear if you have any more things going on. So,
Absolutely. I'll be happy.
yay. All right, bye guys, love and light. Mwah.